Now tell us about your vision spring of 1991. Something about the battle underwater?
Well, Dream, it started with a couple of dreams that I had. One about my dream girl at about 15 years old, and one about my dream girl and her sister about 17 years old. In summer of 1984, my family and I took a trip to Virginia Beach to visit other family. One day while strolling down the beach, I met Melanie, my dream girl's younger sister. We exchanged numbers and information, and we kept in touch with one another. Even while I was in basic training of the Air Force from February to April of 1985, we became very good friends over time. Then, when I took my vacation in April of 1985, I stayed with Melanie and her family in Roanoke, Virginia. That's when I met her older sister, Debbie, my dream girl come true. That 4-day vacation I had with Mother Vi and her family was the best vacation I ever had in my life, and I'd like to donate 100K to Melanie's family for life. After spring of 1986, Melanie and I lost contact. It wasn't until November of 1989, around Thanksgiving time, that I sent a fruit basket to Debbie saying, "For all the times I watched you slept, for all the calls you accepted collect." Debbie didn't respond. I was devastated. In spring of 1991, when I had this vision, I couldn't find Debbie anywhere. So I searched high and I searched low. I ascended to heaven and I descended to hell. I even got permission to search through the lake of fire, but I couldn't find her anywhere. Then I came back to earth. When I returned, I heard something say, "Lean back." When I leaned back, I heard something say, "She's underwater." So I went below to perform spiritual military resurrection strategies. When I got to the bottom, I could see a trunk with a padlock on it. I surfaced to the top. Then came Shoni D, Thensu Prinsu Gensu. He was dressed in army uniform with a boot knife and pistol. I took the boot knife and returned to the bottom of the water. I looked at the padlock and thought it's going to take some skills to open this. Let me call on Bruce Lee. So I said, "Bruce, I need your skills to open this lock." He said, "You resurrect me? You God?" And I left him right there. Then I said, "Let me go to PX Kelly, former commandant of the Marines." I said, "PX, I need your skills to open a padlock underwater." He said, "Let's go," and dove in behind me. When I returned to the bottom of the water, Suzette Childs appeared. She had just returned from warning Chuck D to repent and be baptized. When Suzette appeared, she was empty-handed. I said, "What did he give you? What did Shoni D give you?" "The 45 Magnum." Then the weapon appeared in her hand. Then I said, "Wait a minute. This weapon has 7 shots. That might not be enough to open the lock. Send it back and bring me 20 shots." So Susie did. And a couple minutes later, the weapon came back with 20 shots and one in the chamber. Then something told me, the devil is coming. I could see a black marble-like image unto Darth Vader with aviator glasses like Kumo D's over me. He was a giant, and I said, when he gets here, he'll be small as a cockroach. Now back to Susie. She was armed and able. Then I said, "At my command, fire." She began to shoot at the padlock. About the 14th shot, the devil appeared. He was small as a cockroach, just as I said. Then Chuck D went to grab him, and I said, "No, don't grab him," and Chuck backed off. Then I noticed Shoni D and Rockwell had M16s pointing down with their feet upward. Mind you, all of this was underwater. Then I said to Susie, she was lean 19, meaning Melanie was when I met her in Virginia at the beach. She shot at the lock 18 times, and on the 19th shot, her, Shawnee D, and Rockwell shot the devil. Then I surfaced to the top, and Malcolm X II was treading the water with his black Rambo weapon. The only difference was Malk's weapon didn't shoot fire. Instead, it spit red laser beams. So I said, Malk, when the devil comes out, shoot him with your gun and I'll beam him to Hawaii. Sure enough, the devil was blown out the bottom. He surfaced to the top and Malk shot. After the red laser beam hit the devil, I beamed him to a volcano in Hawaii. This was the result of Hurricane Andrew, and I could see the devil sitting on a volcano with his feet hanging out. Back to the truck at the bottom of the water. On the 19th shot, the trunk flew open, and out came Debbie and her nephew Jakai. She said, Mark, and he said, Daddy. Why he said Daddy was a mystery to me. Anyway, Jakai ascended to heaven. Out of the water, he was still dead. So was Debbie when she came out. And when she came out the water, I apprehended her body. I was so devastated by her death that I decided to pass her body through the sun to resurrect her. Now, in passing her body through the sun, she disappeared. Out came another lady, Lady Miss Care. At the time, she was a mystery to me, spring 1991. Lady Miss Care was supposed to be Debbie's replacement. From the script of old, I'm the lion, she's of the sheepfold, meaning we'll play together forever.
Oh, the lion shall lay down with the lamb. My man.
Then I asked God, why did he take Debbie? Then he showed me a picture of Debbie as Deborah the prophetess on my throne. And I saw Jakai as the archangel. And I saw myself as St. Mark, looking over the sea as our TV. Then my hand came through the sun, pointing at the citrus trees, saying, don't touch the oranges. Meaning the gold-complected sisters, Debbie, Susie, etc. Now, the gold-complected brothers like myself are brass, and the black-complected sisters are black diamond. The black-complected brothers are onyx stone. The fair-complected sisters are platinum, and the fair-complected brothers are silver. Remember Revelation 1:14. The image of the man's feet is brass-complected. Many think this is Jesus Christ Sr., but it's not. It's JC Jr., quoting JC Sr. Back to Malcolm X II. The devil retaliated about 10 years later, and Malk was shot and killed by a gun wound. But that's not it. After Malk shot the devil, he disappeared. My scenes were changing like a soap opera. While I was beaming down from other episodes, I noticed there was a racetrack below me. I could see Apostle David Paul in the ref set, black and white striped shirt with black pants down to his hip. He was floating in the middle of the air with a stopwatch in his hand. The second hand was Bruh Feel Me, Apostle David Paul's sword. Then I saw Malk running for the finish line. I said, oh my goodness, I'm in a race. I wanted to beam across the finish line, but I said no. Then I'll never know. So I beamed down to the track and ran with all my might. I came across the finish line, beating Malk by only 2 to 3 feet. The scene changed back to the underwater episode. I saw who I believed was PX Kelly stranded in the water, treading for his life. So I sent a rescue boat out for him. I said, when they save him, Chuck will ascend out the water saying, Elvis was the hero the most. And when they turned around, Chuck would disappear. And Jerry Brooks of WSSB had announced it over the air back there. Back to Malcolm X II. Yet, Milk will rise and reign forever, while the devil and his angels go down forever.
Okay, Zaruno, give us a rap.
Do you hear me? Oh, do you hear me? Do you hear me? Oh, do you hear me? MUZYC. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? MUZYC. Do you hear me? Hear me now, hear me now. MUZYC. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? MUZYC. Do you hear me? Hear me now. Seville, Master Mag, Zellon, rating Mike Ski, Jamal T. Day, Reno Joe Rock Freak, Ajax Teaspoon, Pacing MC, Blockboy Production in the place to be. Copyright 1983 by no other than the brother MCMOZ. Me. The first resurrection is real, Seville. Hosted the most valid down in your vote, respected in my city from youth up to adults. By our post coast to coast, coming forth to and fro, send a win, friend to friend, again and again. Got pulling the hood, got pulling the hood. Best be believing me, got pulling the hood. Hosted the most valid down in your vote, release peace to speak. Be annoyed with the violence. I'm a King's Kid was royalty in the blood. More than King Arthur first, second, and third. Solid spirit love. Deuced up with water and blood. Solid spirit love. Deuce, water and blood. Had a girl named Holly Hewitt, we never got to it. Back in the days when 100 grams were made by Pruitt. 100,000 bills to 100 mil, up to a couple years on course, it's short to be revealed. Yo, Melanie Lorraine, my main is best friend of Zames, brought me to a house as a bro without a doubt. Left me with Debbie, then April she was ready, setting picks so I could pick. Just scoop a little heavy milk, cereal, baby milk. And breakfast was for Debbie on a downstroke out in Roanoke. Never phony, only known now with the nervousness. Quick kick a motor flicker with the fervousness. My 99% pure preservousness does away with nervousness. Separates nervousness. So no nervousness. No dumb nervousness. Or smear nervousness. Nor stupid nervousness.